What's going on, everybody? This is Dummies Discuss, our inaugural podcast of Dummies Discuss. I'm your boy, Mr. P. Pac-Man. I'm in the living room with my boy Chance, not the rapper.
That's me.
Chance, not the rapper.
I'm not the rapper.
And we also got a special guest today, Doc Holliday's in the building. Doc Holliday, he's a lead therapist at a state agency. Today we're going to be talking about Kanye West and the whole hoopla behind Kanye and mental illness and depression and stuff like that. So we got Doc Holliday in the living room. Can I get there?
No, hurry up, man.
Can I get there? And our girl, we got Shell in the building too. Our girl Shell is in here. We're going to be talking about Kanye, mental illness, and depression. So, Kanye. Is he crazy?
What's going up with it, man?
Is Kanye crazy?
What's up with it?
All right, so I'm pretty sure y'all are all familiar with what's going on with Kanye. Kanye, a lot of people are saying that he's having a mental breakdown right now. It started a couple weeks ago. Kanye got back on Twitter, and he started just ranting. And one day, he ranted about like 80 times in one day on Twitter.
Shit else are we sure it's 80? Are we sure it's 80?
Huh?
Are we sure it's 80?
No, we're not sure. But this
So
is Dummies.
Like
this
number.
is Dummies Discuss, man. I don't know the exact number.
All right, guys. So it's a ballpark number. We're like the Braves. We're young. We're exciting. You know, it's our first time doing this, so it's going to be exciting. We're going to be off sometimes. We have some great stats, some duds. It'll be all right, though.
Maybe I should introduce what this podcast is about.
Go ahead and introduce.
Let's just do that.
Yeah.
I'm just jumping into Kanye. So, look, y'all. It's Friday night. We had a long week at work, so we come in, we have discussions. We're all
friends. We're just friends.
We're friends, just talking, and we just want to share our conversation with y'all. These are conversations that y'all are having at home too, with your groups, your peers, when y'all go out to the club and you're sipping on your drink, whatever, talking about stuff that's going on, or you're on social media. That's all we're doing right now too, and we just want to share it with y'all. So that's what this Dummies Discuss thing is. Now listen, we're going to throw facts out there that probably aren't facts. They're probably going to be off a little bit. They're ballpark.
They're not. Let's not make it. I mean, they're not alternate facts. I mean, we're trying to be as close as we can. Let's start with that. It's not
fake news.
It's not fake news.
It's not fake news,
it's
but
not
we're close.
Alternate facts. It's just what people talk about when they get off from work.
Right, exactly. And today we decided we're going to talk about Kanye. Really, yeah, we're going to talk about Kanye. We're going to talk about mental illness. We're going to talk about depression. That's why we got Doc Holliday in the building. Now, if y'all don't know what's going on, Kanye West, he was off Twitter for a long time. And then all of a sudden he came back. And again, ballpark figure, he in one day tweeted like 80 times. And some of the stuff that he tweeted, in my opinion, is very incoherent. But in a lot of Kanye West's fans' eyes, he's a genius. And I just don't understand him. Like, legit. Like, people, they were defending. They were like, yeah, he's just a genius. You don't understand his genius, right?
Like, he's an
but
artist.
Some of his tweets are just really crazy. And I'll share some of those as we go on. But Kanye, really, a lot of the craziness that started was because Kanye, in one tweet, was wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat.
Y'all with the sucking place look.
With the second place look?
Sunken
place.
Sunken
place.
With the sunken place look.
Like
with the sunken place.
Yeah.
If you ain't seen Get Out, watch Get Out. Know what the sunken place is. Huh? Love that movie.
You look like you
but he's in the picture.
Doc, if you could explain from a doc's perspective what the sunken place is in 3 sentences, how would you explain that?
Like the sunken place?
Yeah. How would you describe the sunken place?
It's like an abysmal hole that you can never get out of. It's like quicksand. Oh, it's like an abysmal hole.
You gotta get closer to the mic, man.
Sorry, I'm reading this
We're
with Kanye.
guys.
Man.
We're literally in a living room.
This shit
recording.
with Kanye is kind of interesting.
We're in a living room.
Are you reading up on it
recording.
right now?
I'm reading on it, man. It's kind of it's wild. I'm really thinking he has a mental illness. No, it's like an abysmal quicksand hole. You know, like imagine being in quicksand and you feel like you can never get out, no matter how hard you fight and struggle. That's like kind of what that hole in that movie kind of represents.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so Kanye wears his hat, "Make America Great Again." He's in it with two gentlemen. I don't even know who they are. I'm not gonna lie. This is Dummies Discuss. I don't know who the guys are. I'm pretty sure they're famous because when I was listening to the radio,
they're white.
and they're white.
They're white.
So, but anyway, I don't know who the other guys are. I apologize. I'm pretty sure y'all do. If y'all do, comment below. Anyway, so so he's wearing his "Make America Great Again" hat, and obviously Twitter, social media goes crazy because of this. Because obviously, "Make America Great Again" is a motto, if you will, of Donald Trump and the people that follow him. And a lot of people think that it's a racist slogan, that it's oppressive, that it has a lot of connotations and symbolism and code word that a lot of people, are affected by. So people are like mad at Kanye. All right. So the question is like, what do y'all, I got a question for y'all. Is it okay that Kanye's wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat? Hell, this is America, freedom of speech. What do y'all think?
I feel like he does have the right. He does have the right to feel how he feel and express how he feel, wearing or doing whatever he wants. But you do have to understand that he does have a platform, and the amount of people that's going to be affected by what he does. It's not just like regular old me wearing a Make America Great Again hat. It's Kanye.
True. And a lot of people, that's what their argument is.
Not say shit on the song and still go platinum,
Now, a lot of people have been arguing, because I was reading some of the comments, is that, especially the black community was really upset by this, is that the black community has always, backed up Kanye. Like, whenever people were saying he was crazy when he did the Taylor Swift thing, when, all the stuff that Kanye's been through, the black community always was, trying to protect him, or, you know what I'm saying, always had his back and always tried to say, look, no, he's, whatever it may be. And now they feel betrayed. They feel betrayed by this hat or whatnot. So that's kind of what the issue is. But what do you think? Chance, not the rapper.
Has he been traded yet? That's what I'm.
Has he been traded to the white delegation?
Yeah, has Kanye been traded yet?
I mean, we did say we're gonna trade him in for Lil Dicky.
Lil Dicky, who's that?
The one from Freaky Friday.
Is he white?
Yeah, he's white. You haven't seen
him? He be on Wild 'N Out and everything.
I don't know him a lot.
Little Dicky's a little boy?
No, he's a grown man. Curly hair, quirky, really corny dude. Just look up Freaky Friday.
And when the black delegation gets Little Dicky,
yeah,
and we give Kanye to them.
Hell yeah.
It's not just only him wearing the hat. It's also the guy he's with, who is that? Liar. I'm probably mispronouncing this name. Liar Cohen? It can't be Liar. L-Y-O-R.
I don't know.
Okay. Liar?
Anyway, what about him?
Yo hablo español. Lo siento. No hablo inglés. I'm mispronouncing the name.
What about him? Who is that dude?
He's throwing up what possibly may be a white supremacy symbol.
The little... I don't know if that's white supremacy.
And I'm reading this right here.
Everybody throws that shit up.
He founded a company called 300 Entertainment. But the way he's holding it, supposedly...
the exact
head
rotation of his hand means it's white power.
Yeah, where he's reaching over his shoulder.
Look, basketball players...
the Make America Great Again hat.
Look, when Steph Curry shoots a three... Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When Steph Curry shoots a three, he throws up the little, 3-point sign or whatever. So I don't know if that.
And it actually started a long time ago with the
everybody
Bulls.
Really recognizes him for being
Christian.
So I don't get why it's crazy for Kanye to do is because Kanye is a musician and Steph Curry.
He's an artist, right?
Yeah.
Artist, right? So anyway,
I think this is what it's attached to.
The other thing that has the internet ablaze is the fact that then Kanye, he goes on TMZ. All right, he's on there with Harvey or whatever. And they're interviewing him, and I challenge y'all to go watch the whole interview with Harvey, but he says one quote in particular. You need to watch the whole thing. He starts talking about liposuction, all kind of craziness. But he says that slavery, 400 years of slavery, in his eyes, his opinion, y'all know this, Kanye says that it was just a choice. Slavery was a choice. That 400 years, like, these slaves, they chose to be slaves for 400 years. What y'all think? What do y'all think?
Forget facts. Like, everybody's really just thinking about slavery is a choice. Like, that's the only thing everybody's fixated on. They don't care about any facts or anything that you may have said, but everybody knows, okay, slavery wasn't a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know. I think I believe they're just like fixated on the fact that he just said that little snippet, and everybody's gonna take that and run
now.
with it.
But there's people. So this is why. Look, I'm not a celebrity kind of person. Like, you could tell me Beyonce X, Y, and Z, and I would not know. I don't give a shit. I really don't.
Yeah, don't care either.
But this Kanye thing has really fascinated me because I'm fascinated and obsessed by the fanfare that is Kanye West. I didn't understand or I didn't know that Kanye was on Michael Jackson status when it came to like fans wise. I did not know that. I swear to God, I did not know that. Like,
It's huge.
Kanye could say go rob banks and there'd be people out there robbing banks because Kanye said
free thought.
and that's where I'm going to is this free thought movement. But before we get to the free thought movement,
What's your favorite slavery was a choice meme so far?
my favorite slavery.
Yeah,
All right.
because that's
I need
the
y'all to
best
look this
part
up.
of it is like the memes that are like
I need y'all to
because
look
the
this
memes
up.
are great.
I need y'all to look this up. Now, mind you, I am a history major with a concentration in African American studies and Reconstruction, right? So slavery is my thing. But this shit's kind of funny. Some of the memes that people are making. There's one meme, and there's this guy. He's in this cotton field, and he has have you seen it? He has a laptop in his hand, and there's a lady next to him. Now this is not like a make believe shot. Like, it's obviously for some reason there were some people out in the cotton field doing something. This guy has a laptop, and the meme says the lady next to him. Lady says, "Hey, what are you doing?" And the guy says, "I'm trying to opt out of slavery."
Right now.
Trying to look into this opt out. That's my favorite meme. That's my favorite meme.
I also like the one. It's the
trying to look into this opt out of slavery thing.
It's Jamie Foxx in Django Unchained, where he's standing in line, and it's like when you forgot to select no on your slavery form, and he's standing all pissed in line, like he doesn't. Like, there's nothing he can. He's just standing there like, man, if I could have checked this box, I wouldn't be in this line right now. Like,
so, slavery is a choice. But here, let's get to
that's going to be the greatest. That's going to be like hundreds of years from now. Someone finds a discarded hard drive. Like, that's going to be. They're just going to see memes of slavery was
slavery
a choice.
Is a choice.
Like,
all right. So, free thought. Now, this is why I'm obsessed with this Kanye thing, because Kanye is starting a movement. It's literally a movement called free thought. Look it up. Look up his interviews. Look up the interview with Charlemagne and Kanye.
So we'll break it down for you, Mike.
Go ahead, Chance.
From my understanding is, I mean, it's just the first thing you think about. Like, you don't stop and think or process.
You just do. You just do. Now, Kanye says whatever your subconscious tells you, a feeling.
Yeah.
Whatever the feeling is that you get at that moment, don't think about it, just do it.
What is he, fucking Freud now?
Yes. That's literally what he says.
You don't know how dangerous that is?
So now kids are listening to his music, they're reading up on Kanye, and then they're going to be going to school and being like, well, I felt like I should do that, so I'm just going to go do it.
You know,
go ahead.
No, what I was going to say was, I mean, this just sounds like another lack of impulse control disorder. I mean, just doing whatever you want, not thinking about consequences.
Give us some examples of lack of impulse control disorder. What do you mean by that? What are some?
Well, it's like conduct disorder, but it's basically you have kids and adults that genuinely have it, but they act on impulse. Like, they don't. Okay, all right, everybody in the natural world has a thought of killing themselves, killing somebody else, whatever. That's thoughts. Thoughts, we all have them, right?
Everybody does?
Everybody. I mean, everybody in the world has some kind of negative thought.
Okay,
everybody. I'm not saying everybody has a suicidal thought, but everybody in the world has a negative thought. If you found out like your girl was cheating on you, you're gonna you're gonna have a quick thought of
like I wish I could be Grand Theft Auto in road rage, but I don't do it.
But then here's my thing: like, what keeps you from acting on that thought as a reasonable human being?
Like norms, the fact that I am sane. The fact that I'm not. I don't want to go to prison. Mm-hmm. The fact that I don't want to kill somebody. Mm-hmm. Right
now, see, that's called consequential thinking. Okay, that means that we as rational human beings can take a brief minute and think, maybe this isn't a good idea. The thought was fleeting. I'll entertain it for a while because it makes me feel better. Like, okay, for me, for example, you watch a mafia movie. Of course, I have a thought that says, "Man, that'd be fucking badass."
Right.
Like when we went to the party, the murder mystery party.
Right, but in reality, I'm not going to be the Don of a mafia because I like my freedom.
That was such a fun night.
It was a fun night,
saying that. We had a great time. Mike was the
I
mafia
played a
Don.
role. I played a mafia Don, and then the detective who was getting my own goddamn murder.
And I was his right hand man. It was all. If you've never done a murder mystery night,
it's good.
It was great.
Good.
Yeah,
we did one with Tupac, but go ahead.
Yeah, but like impulse control disorder is like it's like kids take ADHD and put it on a scale of steroids. It's like they get a thought and they're like, fucking do it, and then they do it. And it's a real disorder. But this is dangerous because now society can't be like the Purge movies. There has to be rules. Right. There has to be known consequences to things.
Right.
And what he's saying is basically say, just do whatever you want. Whatever comes to your mind first, just go fucking do it.
Right. Yeah.
And so I mean, what he's proposing, if this is what he's proposing, this is very dangerous.
Yes.
It really is.
And that's what's got me obsessed with this because the fanfare behind Kanye, again, I did not know he was on Michael Jackson status. Now, have you ever seen a Michael Jackson concert? There are chicks out there, man. Dudes falling the hell out, crying, like whatever. And Kanye's the same way. Like, I did not know that if Kanye said rob a bank, people will rob a bank. Now, mind you, so if these people will do anything Kanye says, and he's on TV saying, listen, just do what your impulse tells you, do what your subconscious tells you. Don't think about it, just do. That's what I'm doing. He said in the interview, if I thought about it, I would not have done it. And that's why I wouldn't be Kanye. If that's what people are going to start doing, we're back in the living room.
Back in the living room.
Pizza came.
This is
pizza delivery.
Again, we are actually in my living room.
It's a living room.
Chance, not the rapper's living room.
We're live.
Pizza Hut.
That doorbell sound you heard? Pizza. Yep. All right. So,
we do tip.
Kanye, is he crazy, right? So, Doc Holliday, what do you think about just, hey, it comes to my mind, or it comes through my subconscious, I just do it, I don't think about it, I just do it. What do you think about that?
I think it's dangerous, just plain and simple.
Why would it be dangerous? Because
if you go back to your human nature, from the time you were a fucking caveman, you think about, sex, you think about, you had those primal urges, like hunger, sex, and dominance, right?
Yep.
Now,
what keeps us apart from being animals?
Exactly, which is thinking, but not necessarily free thinking.
Right.
I mean, if you just act on every urge, if I look at Michelle over here and I just think, damn, I really want to get it right now. Mm-hmm. But not taking any social cues, not taking is she even interested.
The fact that you might go to jail.
Yeah, and if I just go there and just start making moves on her, I mean, that's assault.
Right.
There's consequences.
Y'all, I'm little. I'm little.
Mike's a pretty big guy. Yeah. Shell is petite.
Yeah. And it's there's a difference between thinking through and thinking, okay, I'll go spit some game, I'll flirt, hit on it. To me,
that's what separates us from other animals. Is that we think all that other stuff is how should I socially? What are the social norms?
Yeah, you look at norms and cues. You're thinking, man, I would love to get it, but man, maybe I need to flirt, see what's going on. He's basically saying, no, just go take it.
Right.
Which doesn't have any empathy for her. It takes, that's assault.
Do you think he's considering that, though, when he say think freely?
Probably
Do you
not.
think he's considering, some Americans, some people are just not there with you? We don't know exactly what you're saying.
I was just reading an interview that he gave earlier where he said, before he had his little hospitalization, he never considered empathy from people anyway. So
Right.
I don't think he even thinks about empathy on a level.
He did say that, yes.
He did. He's like, well, I never really even thought about empathy. And I thought he was going to lead into something like, man, now I can empathize with people. But then he started ranting about something else in that interview. I mean, it's like his empathy level really isn't there. He doesn't really think about other people and their considerations and all this. I mean,
what does that make you, though?
Huh?
What does that make you like? That's a sociopath?
Well, not necessarily. Any personality disorder, narcissism, borderline personality disorder, none of those have empathy. Mm-hmm. People equate it with sociopathy because of media and television, Law and Orders and all that.
Gotcha.
But you can literally be a narcissist, not ever have a violent tendency in your bone, and you don't have empathy for people. Mm-hmm. Like you don't care what other people think. You're not going to go hurt anybody, but you're, you just don't really give a shit what anybody else thinks about.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
And here's why it's scary for me. I work with young people, and a lot of them worship Kanye. Mm-hmm. I've had kids tell me, look, you just don't understand Kanye. You don't understand his genius. You don't understand the genius that is Kanye. And this free thought thing, I had somebody tell me, you know what? The more you think about it, though, Kanye is onto something when it comes to this slavery thing. This slavery is a choice thing. So if that's what they think about the slavery is a choice thing, they're going to absolutely adopt the whole free thought
thing. Do you know
thing.
what they're not thinking about with the slavery is a choice thing?
History.
Right.
But this is what they're not thinking about. I equate slavery to a woman in domestic violence. People all the time say, just get out of the relationship,
Right.
People don't understand how hard it is when you've been mentally manipulated and mentally oppressed to get out of a situation.
Right. Absolutely.
And if you think about for 400 years, you have a race of people that have been beaten down mentally, all that. You can't just up and say one day, like, I just don't want to do it anymore.
Right.
Had their feet cut off, their hands cut off.
Right,
like,
yeah. I mean, people don't, that's trauma.
And the crazy part is, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I read, oh God, I don't remember her name right now. Joy something, Dr. Joy. Anyway, she said that Black people even today are suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome because, if you ever experience PTSD, you have some kind of trauma, most people today, except in the Black community, because it's taboo in the Black community, most people will go out and seek help. They'll get some counseling.
It's taboo in the Black and Hispanic community.
Exactly. But the slaves, all the trauma that they experienced, they never received any counseling for it. It was, they never received any counseling. So it was just passed on generation to generation.
What makes it even more interesting?
What's that?
Is when you're a kid, do you know how you learn your very first coping skills? From watching your parents.
For your parents. Yes, absolutely.
And so if you've got a generation after generation of people telling you how to behave, how to trust, how to look at different people, how to behave around certain people, and you don't have somebody coming in saying, like, don't do that, you're going to pick up that. So, I mean, this Dr. Joyce, whatever the fuck her name is.
Oh, damn, I don't remember her name
that's
right
pretty
now.
damn interesting.
It's interesting. So let me ask you this.
If you happen to come across our podcast, we mean this super respectfully when we don't remember your last name.
No, I'm going to get her name because she is a big-time professor, and this post-traumatic slave syndrome she has kind of coined, and she is, like, traveling the country talking about it. Like, she's big time, and I'm gonna look it up while you guys are talking. But
if we get super lucky and you ever want to come talk to us,
no, we are, because I think people are like tuned in right now. I think people are like, once they heard Doc Holliday, they were like, this motherfucker here. So anyway, but this is also what they say. Doc Holliday is that
Joy Leary.
Is it Leary? Let me look. I'll check. But look, so let me ask you a question. What are some of the symptoms, if you will, or some of the manifestations if you have PTSD?
Well, you have things cognitively,
right?
Thinking wise, like lack of trust.
Wait a minute. So now, while he's listing off all of these things, I want you to think about young Black people. Especially if you're an educator out there and the young Black people you have in your classroom. Because some of the things that she said is, for example, very easily irritable, very easily angered, lack of trust.
There's avoidance.
Avoidance.
There's the obvious that everybody thinks. See, everybody thinks of when they think PTSD, flashbacks and nightmares.
Right.
Which are two major things, but people don't take into credit all the other things that go into PTSD. You can have PTSD without flashbacks and nightmares. You could avoid anything that's a trauma reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Irritability, lack of trust is a huge one. Just a lot of affect, emotional dysregulation, people getting like really angered really quickly.
Right.
Stuff like
Right.
that.
I mean, think about the kids that in school, like you step on their shoes, step on their Pumas, and they're ready to fight. Like they learned that from their family. Like they learned that from their parents, who they probably, again, that's the first socialization happens at home from your parents. And if your parents never received any kind of counseling, never received any kind of, help or whatnot from the trauma that they were either experienced or that they were passed down from their parents, this is post-traumatic slave syndrome that she's talking about. So anyway, I'm going back to Kanye though. That's what scares me, is that there's these young kids who follow Kanye, who love Kanye, not even young kids, hell, older people too, who think that he's Jesus.
Yeah.
He thinks he's Jesus, and he's saying, hey, free thought. Do whatever the hell comes to your mind. Don't think about it. Don't think about the consequences. Just do. Because if you think about it, you're not going to do it, and it's going to hinder you from being Kanye, if you will. And is that date? What do you think? Chance, not the rapper?
Jesus isn't Jesus. I mean, there's not much. You can't go much further than that. COD.
So let me ask you this. And I asked Doc Holliday, do you think Kanye is going through a mental crisis right now? Does he have mental illness for real? Now, he said himself in an interview that he was hospitalized for mental illness. He's taking medication for it. So, I mean, obviously we should maybe take his word for it. But in your expert opinion, do you think this is the things he's been doing lately? Does this look like mental illness to you?
I mean, I personally think he is. Thing with mental illness is you always want to look for patterns. You can have a breaking moment and anything can happen. Mm-hmm. But even before all this hospitalization and stuff, you were telling me that he always equated himself, I'm the greatest artist that ever lived.
Right.
Okay, in my personal opinion, Metallica is the greatest artist that ever lived. But I've never read an interview where they said we're the greatest band that's ever lived. Even people of immense celebrity status are humble in a way. They may brag to some degree, but they can always kind of humble themselves. So
there's some narcissism in there?
Yeah, there's definitely, but that's where I think it's getting confusing. I almost think he's a manic. I think he...
And what is that? I really don't know what that is.
Okay.
Like
what does
legit.
manic mean?
Manic is like a heightened, elevated, euphoric state. Like, okay, you usually think of it with depression as being bipolar depression and manic. Go the complete opposite of depression. But you can have a manic stage by itself. You don't have to have a depression. And what it is it's kind of like traits of narcissism, grandiose thinking, which would be the whole I'm the greatest musician that's ever lived. Entitlement, hence him running up on stage and stealing a microphone
from Taylor Swift.
From the blonde chick. Yeah,
definitely did that.
Swift.
Yeah, absolutely did that.
But that goes back to the social cue thing. It goes back to, like, I may think Taylor Swift sucks, which I don't, but I'm not going to go run up on a stage and steal a microphone from her on a televised broadcast.
Right.
Because I'm going to have millions of viewers watching me. That's what manic is. It's ranting, hyperverbal behavior, which is incessant, just nonstop talking about, just like going on tangents.
Now, he has gone on several rants during his concerts. I don't know if y'all are familiar with it, but he's gone on several rants on stage.
And has this shit happened before the
hospitalization? Yes. Before and after the hospitalization. Yes. On rants. Yes, absolutely. That's
a pattern. And I mean,
wow.
If he's been doing this all the time, I mean, I would honestly, personally feel, and it's funny because I was looking up mental health discussions, like from practitioners about Kanye West, and a lot of them feel that, like, he's manic. A lot of them feel that, like, he's bipolar manic. And they're like, dude, like, really, it's there.
And is that, so that's dang, I mean, okay, let's rewind because, okay, he's manic. Let's just say he is manic, like legitimately manic, but his platform and his followers worship him. How dangerous is this?
Very. I mean, because you just said it earlier. You said that he's got like such a fan base of followers that literally idolize this guy.
Right.
So, I mean, and then if you look at our generation, not our generation, but this younger generation now.
Generation Z, I think they're called.
Yeah, what are they called? The millennials or something like that?
No, they're this past. This is the next. This is the
next
next
one.
This is the next generation. Generation
Oh,
Z.
we're the millennials? Okay.
Yeah, we're like, there's two sects of millennials.
I think Shell might be a Generation Z. When were you born?
I don't.
When were you born?
You don't get to choose that, though.
You don't get to choose.
You don't get to choose.
When were you born? Huh?
I'm a 90s baby.
You're a 90s baby?
Yeah,
You might be a Generation Z. No, I think 2000 is Generation Z.
These are the like the young ones snorting weed.
No, you're still a millennial. You're late millennial. We're
the Tide Pod
we're
generation.
we're early millennial.
Like, that's what I was talking about. Type
We're early millennial. They're late millennial. This new generation is 2000. I think is Generation Z.
Where everybody's like 18 now.
Right. Exactly. So,
Like, and I will say he is influential. Okay, like I'm not a big rap fan. I work with kids that love rap music, and I listen to it with them. But I'm not a huge rap fan. I even know who the fuck Kanye West is.
Right.
Even before all this, he's just that big of a player.
Hang on, guys.
Right.
And it's dangerous with these kids.
right.
I mean, we are dummies. So this information is directly from Wikipedia.
Which is
Right.
a valid source.
I'm
Yes.
quoting my source. Generation Z, or Gen Z,
Gen Z.
is the demographic cohort after the millennials, which is Generation Y. It says it in big parentheses right there. Currently, there are numerous additional competing names used in connection, blah, blah, blah. There are no precise dates for this cohort for when it starts or ends. But demographers, is that how you said that? Demographers?
Demographers.
Demographers.
Come on, man.
And
Get to the point. Get to the point.
Typically use the mid-90s to mid-2000s.
Rhododendron?
Who?
You know that flower, rhododendron?
No.
There's a flower called rhododendron.
Okay.
I saw it one day, and I didn't know it was a flower, and I said rhododendron. I was like, what the fuck kind of transformer is this? They're like,
Transformer.
What's the year?
Right,
What did you say?
Mid-90s to mid-2000s.
Mid-90s, 2000. When were you born?
93. That's early.
Oh, you early now. You still a
90s.
millennial.
Oh, man.
Shell's still a millennial. But anyway, these are Generation Z, and they worship Kanye. And we just don't understand him, y'all.
Double A.
We don't understand him.
But see, I'm so tired of that excuse. Like when all these Generation Z people keep saying he's a genius.
He's a genius.
No.
Hey,
Let me tell you a genius.
It's people I graduated with that feel the same.
Yeah,
way.
he's a genius. You don't understand him,
this
Doc
is all
Holliday.
across. No. A genius is Steve Jobs, and I'm going to tell you why. Because a genius has enough rational thought to think, even though I think outside the box, there are still some acceptable norms I have to go through. Like, it all came out after his meeting. I mean, after his death. That Steve Jobs was like the biggest asshole ever.
Right. People did not
you
like
didn't know
working
that
for
when he
him.
was
People did
alive.
not like working for Steve
Yeah,
Jobs.
but he didn't like go publicly display all this.
Right.
He kind of kept his shit
Right.
together. He was so he had the ability to think. That's a genius to think that outside the box, to be that kind of weird,
Right.
but can still rein it in it.
Right.
I think he's literally just a fucking manic guy. I mean, he's smart. Don't get me wrong. I think Kanye's smart.
Musically,
but I don't think he's this genius that everybody says he is.
I think musically he's a genius.
Yeah, like, man,
Now, but
musically,
he
yeah.
has talent.
musically he's a
Don't take
genius.
that away.
Yeah.
But all this other stuff, the slavery was a choice and free thought, no.
No, hey,
Stick to rapping.
all right, Yeezus fans, no hate mail to Doc right now. He's just giving his professional.
No, we want Yeezus fans out there because that means that we done went
hate
viral.
mail.
No, we
hate
went
mail
viral.
But
No.
I just don't want them sending hate mail.
I want hate mail because that means we went viral on our first podcast.
Send it
from
now.
The living room.
From the living room. I'm not gonna lie
Guys,
to
we're
you.
in a literal living room. Literally, my coffee table. We got a laptop. My Nintendo Switch is over in the corner. My dog is in the garage, so we don't hear her.
I don't
feet
think
running
y'all
around.
understand how much editing is going to have to go
Yeah.
into making this podcast sound really presentable to
You've
y'all.
heard our voices, like they're probably gotten louder and quieter because of how we were sitting on the couch. Like a Nintendo Switch, man. I got a Nintendo Switch over there, Zelda and everything. Oh,
The
dude,
little
the
thing
greatest
with
game.
the cardboard boxes?
We'll do a history of game consoles
You just
episode
fold
one
it.
day.
That's going to be
We'll
one of ours.
fold it. It's just-
Dummies
yeah,
discuss
just
Nintendo
video.
and shit. Like, that's what we'll do.
Just video games.
I stopped at Sega CD. I just stopped buying systems, man.
So, hey, y'all. I'm not
We're
going to lie
not
to
done.
you.
We're not done.
We're not done? If we're at like 35 minutes,
But
man.
we got to get to the song. All right, so
Okay. All right.
based off of Doc, Kanye may be manic, right?
Bipolar
Narcissistic,
manic.
maybe bipolar manic, but we got to get to this song.
What song? Tell us what the song is called. You don't even know, do you?
I think it's just called Poop Diddy Scoop.
No, it's not.
It's not Poop Diddy Scoop.
It's called
What's the name of the song?
It's called Lift Yourself.
Lift Yourself.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe that's a marijuana. Well, I'm sorry.
Actually, if you listen to the beat, you do feel
yeah.
kind of like lifted. You know?
All right.
But Poop Diddy Scoop is.
Here we go. So we're
is
gonna go
what
out.
I'm gonna remember.
We're gonna go out on Kanye's new hit single called
We're examining it.
Lift Yourself. No, we're not examining it.
We have to. Because,
we're at 35 minutes.
But right to use laws, we have to critique this song or we can't play it.
That's true.
We have to critique
based
it.
on
like,
based on fair use laws by Harvard University, we have to play the song for you.
That's
I'm
where
already,
we read
I'm already going to tell you.
Oh, God damn it. Well, I don't know. But
I'm already going to tell you, it's probably just going to sound bad.
So this is Kanye's new single, Lift Yourself, also known as Poop Diddy Scoop. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Here we go. Right there.
All right, guys. At this point of the podcast, we were supposed to be listening to Kanye West, Lift Yourself. We ran into some copyright issues. So now what you're going to hear is just our reaction to the song after we listen to it. All right, so let's talk about the song now. Like, what did you guys think of the song now that we've listened to it?
Better question is, what's your favorite part of the song?
No, you know what? It's the lead up. It's that moment. It's that moment where like Kanye's like, wait till they hear this next verse, and you're like, wait, because it's the next, and you're like,
next verse.
Where's the first verse?
Where was the first verse?
That's the first thing you're thinking. Where's the first verse?
Now I'm not gonna lie to you. That was a hot beat though.
It was
like the whole look. I did music in college. I wasn't good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't good.
Pretty good, man.
It was pretty good. You think so?
We'll have to do.
We'll play. Look, actually, some of the instrumentals y'all listen to was some of my beats that I made, but we're not gonna talk about that. But anyway, so I'm not gonna lie. The whole time I was listening to the song, I was like, man, this would be a dope track to like lace a track on, like to get on.
I gotta tell a quick story because the first time I heard this song, Mr. P. Pac-Man came over and was like, you gotta hear this new Kanye track. You gotta hear this new Kanye track. And we're sitting right here in the living room. Across from each other. You know, pulls up the song on my laptop and plays it. And we're just sitting there listening to it, right? And as Kanye is talking about, wait till you hear this next verse, I look over at Pac-Man like, where was the first verse? Like, that's the look on my face. And he just kind of sits back, kicks his feet up. He's like, just wait. Just wait.
Just wait. You about to be
and
amazed.
I was like, it's about to be something ridiculous. In my head, I'm like, it's about to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I wasn't prepared for it. I literally was not prepared.
And then he didn't stop. He just kept saying it.
Yeah.
He just went in. So anyway, hey y'all.
But it may be genius. Because we did have the discussion.
Now, I'm not going to lie to you.
He may be making fun of mumble rappers.
No. That's what, listen.
That was a bubble wrap.
Two theories.
Mike, we don't have enough time.
Theories. Two theories. One theory is that he's making fun of mumble rappers and their music. That's one theory. But another theory is, and this is what T.I. said. This is from T.I. T.I. said that there is going to be a genre of music that is created now called Poop Diddy Scoop rap.
All right.
And there's going to be rappers who literally just use onomatopoeias and just Poop Diddy Scoop and himiny ha and all kind of stuff to make music. And like literally that's what's about to happen. I think T.I. is on to something. I think people are so intrigued with Kanye that this is what's going to about. This is the future of rap. Poop Diddy Scoop. Poop Diddy. Poop Diddy Scoop.
Poop Diddy Scoop.
Yes, that's it. But now listen, y'all. Hey, we got to end this podcast.
So
this podcast got to end,
This is how I want it to end in the living room.
All right, let's go.
I want you to give us your best. If you were to write your own Poop Diddy Scoop song, you got to give us the first, like just one bar of your own. Come on.
It's got to be two at least because it got to rime.
Okay.
We got to get 4 bars.
All right, give me 4 bars.
I need 4 bars.
No. I want it from you right now.
Oh, mine?
Not from Pete. You did music in college, It actually was pretty good. So you got to give us something right now on the spot, best you can on the outro.
All right, here we go. Am I gonna get a beat or something? I ain't gonna get no beat. Just go, just freestyle it.
I'm pretty white. I'm pretty white. I'm pretty white.
Himiny, huh? Shiminy ball. It's it, finny car. That shit's it.
We gotta get that on a beat. For the next episode, we gotta get that on a beat.
We gotta get on the beat.
It's gonna be the intro to the next episode.
I got some beats. I can make that shit a hit. I'm pretty sure.
Intro to the next episode. Intro to the next episode.
Himiny, huh?
This was
you heard it here first. Himiny, huh?
Yeah, this is Dummies Discuss from the living room. This is Chance, definitely not the rapper.
Definitely not the rapper.
All right.
Our girl Shell.
Bye, y'all.
Doc Holliday.
Give it up to Doc Holliday, y'all. Doc Holliday in the living room. Thank you for your expertise.
Exactly what he's talking about.
It's your boy, Mr. P-Pack, man. And thank y'all for listening. Y'all comment below what y'all want us to talk about next, man. All right, so we out.